Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I just wanted to talk about some maps that I find very interesting that kind of explain the series I just made. Specifically, we have states that are trending blue and red and not trending at all. That can really explain why I believe this, that my 2100 electoral map will be so different from the 2020 map. And so, here's what I have. I have California, the Dakotas, Minnesota, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, and most of the Northeast and West Virginia as trending Republican. And here's why. These states are, of course, losing in electoral presence, which I'll explain in a little bit, which of course makes a huge difference when a lot of the Democratic votes are leaving the state's gonna get redder, as is the states that are gaining electoral votes, they're gonna get bluer, most likely. Sorry about that. Why do I keep hitting the settings buttons? The edit buttons. Anyway, I have Montana, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, Alaska, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska at large, Nebraska's first, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina, and Vermont as trending blue. And the reasons for this are, like, they're trending Democratic, but at a slower rate. Like, a lot of the trends you're seeing out of these states, like Alabama or Oklahoma, you're not really noticing the trends right now. It'll take a while for them to really go into effect. And then, of course, we're trending blue fast with Colorado, Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, and Virginia. We're definitely noticing these trends. I mean, we saw Georgia shift 5 points from 2016 to 2020. Not even Arizona shifted that much. Of course, the trends we're seeing in Georgia, North Carolina, and Texas are just making such a huge impact on what the Republicans do to try and win elections. I mean, Texas is if Republicans lose Texas, that's a big blow on the presidential level, and it looks like they can pretty soon because Texas is trending blue so fast. For trending red fast, I have Iowa, these three Rust Belt states, Maine second, Ohio, and Indiana. It makes sense, actually. I mean, Ohio shifted 11 points from 2016, or 2012 to 2016, and Iowa shifted 15 points from 2012 to 2016. And we saw Obama win Michigan by 17 points almost, and then Clinton just lost the state in 2016, and Biden only barely won it back. Like, this is a significant underperformance for Democrats in these states, and it just proves that they are trending Republican. And, of course, for the states that aren't trending, I have a non-existent state, Nebraska's third, Maine's first, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Kentucky, DC, Hawaii. Actually, I'm going to put Hawaii as trending red, and Florida. And I can kind of explain this. Kentucky, you are not seeing anything different from what you usually would. I mean, it's been safe Republican since 2000, since Gore versus Bush, and of course Clinton won it in 1996. Why do I keep saying 20? Anyway, Kentucky is not a state that's trending Republican either. I mean, it's shifting to the right and left as the rest of the country does. Sort of in bigger groups, though. I mean, we saw in 2020 it shifted 4 points to the left when the average state shifted 2. we saw it shift 5 points to the right when the average state shifted like 2 or 3 from 2008 to 2012. Or no, we saw it shift even more than 5, actually. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's the overall point, is that these states are not trending. I mean, Massachusetts, we've also seen in the Democratic column for a very long time now. Ever since Bill Clinton, Massachusetts has been safety. And now let's move on to another map that will show you exactly what I mean. This is the electoral vote map. Is a state gaining electoral votes or losing electoral votes? We see Georgia losing or gaining electoral votes very fast. We see Florida gaining electoral votes very fast. We see Texas especially gaining electoral votes very fast. Why am I saying Florida now? California, these 5, Mississippi, Alabama, Indiana, Wisconsin, West Virginia, Maryland, New Jersey, and Connecticut and Rhode Island, and Oklahoma, are losing EV, but not very fast. I mean, when I say gaining EV fast, I mean almost every census they're gaining EV. And losing EV fast means they're losing electoral votes every census almost. I mean, Georgia is not gaining any electoral votes in the 2020 census, but I think it will every census forward for a while. Arizona, Colorado, Utah, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina are gaining electoral votes. Not very quickly, but they are. And electoral votes not changing. We're seeing a lot of the 3 electoral vote, all the 3 electoral vote states. Idaho, Montana, which I could have put Idaho as gaining, but I decided not to. New Mexico, Alaska, Hawaii, Kentucky, DC, all the 3 electoral vote states. Massachusetts and New Hampshire, and Maine and Nebraska. And then, of course, the states that are losing electoral votes fast are Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. I mean, we see these states losing electoral votes every census. I mean, Pennsylvania, the 2010 and 2020 censuses were the first 2 that didn't take away more than 1 electoral vote. I mean, every census before that for a while had taken away 2, which had been a really big blow to the Democrats, because this used to be a solidly Democratic state. Not by margin, but by voting record. I mean, it would vote for Democrats almost every time, besides Ronald Reagan. But of course, New York it's losing its electoral votes, and you're kind of seeing a pattern here. The states that are losing electoral votes are states that are trending Republican, and the states that are gaining electoral votes are trending Democratic. I mean, there are exceptions, but you know what I mean overall. And then I have this map over here that really doesn't mean as much towards my previous series, but this is just what I put as what I consider to be the West Coast, the Midwest, the middle wall, I guess you could say, the South, the Rust Belt, and the Northeast, and then of course Alaska and Hawaii aren't really connected to the rest of the United States, as in by land, so... Although I guess you could say Alaska either Midwest or West Coast, and Hawaii probably the South, if you were to connect them. But anyway, yeah, this isn't meant to be a very long video. I just wanted to explain what states are losing electoral votes, what states are gaining electoral votes, what states aren't changing, what states are trending blue, trending red, and not trending. I think that this is how the map will look like. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.